I remember kind of our first conversation, my first conversations with Syd too, were, I think you had seen the rough cut before you actually started working on it. And it was interesting because one of the things for the Blackfish opening that it was like one of the first, it was like the only thing I cut. And I had cut it way before we even had a story, just because I had seen the footage and I thought that this is kind of my opening, you know? And he, you know, all I wanted to communicate kind of to Syd was like, you know, are you able to sort of do the less is more approach? You know, because I wasn't sure. You always imagine you're going to go into a title graphic sort of conversation with somebody and they're going to want to make a stamp and make it really bold. And I was like, this is so creepy and subtle that, you know, would you be able to underscore it? And he was clearly able to do that. And then I remember he mentioned the Blackfish part. And I was like, and I think he had sort of thrown out some ideas and I was like, oh, you know, I kind of want the Blackfish to be just completely subtle. Like, I honestly don't think it really has to do anything. And it was funny because he was like, well, I just have this idea with the killer whale just sort of swimming by. And the K is actually a dorsal fin. It's kind of hard to see. But it was one of those things that I was just like, okay, sure. But, you know, it'll probably not work. You know, we're just going to go with the text, I'm sure. And so, like, it was one of those situations where, I mean, he just showed it to me and I was just blown away. Like, he made it artful and high production quality. And yet, he had listened to me and taken my notes. He just sort of applied it, you know, in a different way than I had imagined. So it was it was interesting. And then I see the superheroes thing and it was like you were capable of doing the opposite. You know what I mean? Of essentially driving that whole title sequence with the graphics. So yeah, that kind of breadth is pretty cool.
The Blackfish, like she said, it came edited already and it was very dramatic. And I watched it, I was like, oh, this is like a horror film. And I really just did the type and the font choice. But yeah, like I said, I kept it very subtle. Sometimes I think almost too subtle, but maybe not.